Welcome to Community Close-Up. We have this morning with us Taylor Nichols. Good morning.
Good morning.
Taylor Fisher Nichols and Jerry Fisher. Everybody knows Jerry Fisher from WHIG TV. But we're here for a special purpose today. I'm so glad to have them on. Years and years and years ago, Herb and Jerry were talking, I guess, and Jerry has always been the type to want his children to do good things for good purposes and good reasons. So, isn't that right, Jerry?
Oh, yeah. Well, I told them when they were little, you always want to make sure to make the world a better place than it was before you got here.
Right.
And
exactly.
This was honestly not something that I expected. And
Right.
it all completely came from Taylor.
Right.
I think she was, 9 at the time?
Started when I was 9.
9 years
Yeah.
old.
Yep.
And tell the audience what you started.
All right, so from when I was 9 years old until I think it was about 17 or 18 until I went off to college, I did a lemonade stand to raise money for abused kids in Nash and Edgecombe foster care.
How nice.
I would set up a lemonade stand 5 days out of a year every summer at
Okay.
Love's Menswear at the time.
Yes. Oh, I remember. Yes.
Yep,
Rudy.
that'll be one of the 2 locations this year, same general area, but Love's is not there
Okay.
anymore.
Yeah,
but
right.
same, that'll be the
Yeah.
original spot.
Yeah.
But yeah, we did that 5 days out of the year for 7 years, and then at the time the foster care would give us a list of a couple presents they would like. So
Yes.
I took my dad and a couple family friends out, and we went to Kmart at the time, and we'd go shopping, and then we went to the Moose Lodge, rented out the Moose Lodge, and we'd have the presents, food, arts and crafts, and then I got to personally hand out the gifts that
Oh, wow.
I got for them, which was
How
really
rewarding was that for
nice.
you?
It was great. It was nice seeing
It
them.
had to be such a good feeling.
Yeah.
That someone else less fortunate than you could have something.
Yeah, I knew if we had the voice and the resources, and if we could do something, why not?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
like you said, spread love.
Yes,
awareness to certain things. So.
Yes, very good.
It comes down to a lot of times children have a much more simple way of
Yes.
thinking, which is actually much better.
Yeah.
Adults kind of overthink
I think
things.
we do. I think
And,
we do.
I think probably the coolest thing was I did not know that she had had a conversation with my mother about child abuse, because she was in the back seat of the car and saw a newspaper
Right.
and picked it up, and there was an article in there about Jahan Cooper, who
Right.
just died of child abuse. So they talked about child abuse, and that's kind of what spurred this whole thing. And I'll never forget coming up the stairs, and she said she wanted to have a lemonade stand, and I thought that she wanted to buy toys or something, like most kids. I didn't know. I mean, I didn't know that they'd had that conversation.
Yeah.
And she said, I want to buy Christmas gifts for abused kids so that they'll know somebody cares for them too.
Oh.
And I thought, and that is word for word what she said.
Right.
And I thought, oh man, I didn't expect that.
Yes.
And I tell you what, even now I think about it, because, at the time, we were just learning what happened to
Right.
Jahan. But
Right.
now, since then, we see kids they're not kids anymore. Like I was standing in the line at it was one of the restaurants on 301.
Yes.
And he said, "Hey, Mr. Fisher," and I recognized his name on his name tag,
Wow.
and he was 18. So this was
Okay.
years later, and
Wow.
still see these kids.
Isn't that
Yeah.
something? Yeah, we just had with social services here, we just had a child that passed away from child abuse. It was huge in the community. It was just huge. It was a shame. And so we've had a lot of conversations on the morning show about that. So anyway, let's move forward to now. So we're
Yeah.
going to do this again.
We are. Yep. So now I stay at home.
Okay.
This is actually 20 years later.
20
years.
And this is the anniversary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know until I got that feeling again. Like, now that I stay at home, I've got a little bit more time on my hands.
Right.
Not much, but I got a little bit to bring it back. So
Yes.
I was like, let's do it. And now I grew in my faith with God too. So now the church that I go to, let's make it a little bit bigger.
Oh, wow.
So now we're going to have some of the youth at my church, Rocky Mount Seventh-day Adventist, and We're going to have 2 locations this year. So one, again, is going to be at Spates at the Harris Teeter Shopping Center. And the second location is going to be at Barley and Burger Gateway Center
Yes.
area.
Yes.
I don't know exactly where the table will be, but it will be in that vicinity. And I'll go over the times too, maybe
Yeah.
at the end. But it will be the 24th, 25th, and 27th
Okay.
at both locations. Since the youth will be involved, I'll have them at both tables, and I'll split my time between the 2.
Yes.
So I'll be at one table half the time and the other.
And that is this Thursday,
Yep.
Friday, and
And
Sunday.
Sunday. Yep.
Skip Saturday.
Mhm.
Thursday, Friday, Sunday.
Yep. So, dates and times. So Thursday is going to be from 5 to 7. Friday is 2 to 6, and
Okay.
then Sunday is 11 to 3.
Okay, say
Yep.
those again. Want to make
Five.
sure people have a chance
To
to
get my pen.
I know,
Just
right? 5 to 7 on Thursday. Friday is 2 to 6, and Sunday is 11 to 3.
Okay, all right.
At Spates at
Hopefully you
Harris
wrote
Teeter.
those down.
Yeah.
Spates Trophy Shop, if you
Mhm.
know, it's right in the middle of Westridge, Spates Trophy Shop.
Yep. And then Barley and Burger Gateway Center area.
Yes,
So we'll have
absolutely.
Youth from the church at both tables, and again, I'll split my time between the 2.
That is just wonderful, Taylor, that you have the heart to do this on behalf of these children that don't have a voice.
Yeah.
They don't have a voice. And I just think it's wonderful. So go out to the lemonade stand, please. And, you know, how much is the lemonade?
Just $1 again.
$1?
$1.
Okay, but don't put $1. Let's just think beyond that and get the delicious, or if you don't want the lemonade, that is fine too. Just put money, just give money, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And don't just give $1.
It's a donation.
It is
It's-
a
it's
donation.
what-
Yeah.
It is a that was my point.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to just give the price of the lemonade.
Right.
You can go beyond that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
well, that is so good. I'm so glad you're doing this again, and it just warms my heart to know that you're doing this. So let's talk about. Now you've got a child now.
I do.
So does that come into play with your thoughts? Do you think about other children? You've got your own now. And so does
Oh,
does
for
your
sure.
child come into
Yeah, I think your mindset changes as a whole
Yes.
when you become a parent. So
Yes.
yeah, when I had her, especially being a little girl, not that would be any different, but yeah, she made a difference for sure in my life. And again, I wanted to be that voice and show her, you know, spreading love and just being a good person and
Right.
try to raise her how my parents did. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, I know your parents raised you very well. You have a brother.
Well, thank you. I
Both
do.
of you.
Yeah.
So anyway, 24th, 25th, 27th. Jerry, what have you got to say now? I know you got something to say. You're
you
never
know, I'm
lost for
just-
words.
When she told me she wanted to bring it back, I thought, wow, that's pretty cool, because you know it's like you get to see your kids, you know, doing something
Yes.
nice like that. I mean, it just makes me very proud.
So are you
And-
coming to the lemonade stand?
You bet I will
I was
be.
about to say.
Yeah.
Because he did a lot of the legwork the first time around.
Yes.
And, you know, 20 years later, I was like, you know what, I got this.
Mhm.
I got this. But, of course, I want that, my little helper to the side.
Absolutely.
Started,
It will mean a lot to him too.
so- oh, yeah. He's already drawn my signs up for me, so I'm getting those colored in.
Yeah,
So-
Had to
very
be authentic.
good.
Yeah. She said,
Just
I
like
want
the
I want the
original.
letters. I want the letters to look like they did the first time. So you know, it's
Right.
like the same handwriting.
Oh, wow.
From the first time. Yeah, because we did the signs and I drew the letters and she colored them all in, you know, when she was little.
Wow.
And so we actually pulled up the signs from the Facebook page. By the way, the Facebook page should be, you know,
I think
should
it's still
be
active.
active. So
Okay, so what is the
Yeah.
Facebook page?
Taylor's Lemonade Stand.
Yeah.
Taylor's
Yeah.
Lemonade Stand. Go to Taylor's Lemonade Stand. You know, I think it would be pretty cool if somebody walked up to your lemonade stand and said, I gave to your other lemonade stand years ago. Would that not be cool?
Oh, it's awesome. I was
Yeah.
actually in church when I had brought this to the pastor and gave him my ideas and how I wanted to get the youth involved. And one Sabbath I got up to talk to give everybody the idea and all that and the information. And after everything was over, a guy I know was like, I did not know this was you the entire time. He's like,
Wow.
I remember when you were little.
She looks
I
a little
remember
bit
that-
different.
Yeah, a little bit.
So do I.
Everybody does. Everybody
But
does.
that was pretty cool that he even knew. I mean, I still see people out in public to this day that once
Yeah.
I say like Taylor Fisher, especially the Fisher part.
Oh, the lemonade
Yeah.
stand,
Yeah.
Taylor Fisher.
Yeah, yeah, still connected to that, which is really nice.
Are there any special moments, stories about the lemonade stand that you remember?
Oh yeah, there's a good amount. Do you want to start with that?
Yeah, we had people come from all over the place because you guys, I mean, obviously WHIG was a huge part of getting the word out, and a big part of being the success, I believe. If it wasn't for you guys, I don't know what in the world would happen, because, I mean, we would have been successful, but not the same level, because when you guys started reporting on it, other people picked up on it, and it broadened the reach. I mean, we had people come from Fayetteville and Raleigh and come from all over the place. I mean, people had to drive from a long ways to come in, and the last day was pretty. It was bittersweet because it had been so successful. She was right at the end of the day. We figured she was pretty close to about $4,000, and selling
For
lemonade.
my
Keep in
dollar
mind,
lemonade.
yeah, from Dollar Lemonade. Well, that's needless to say, she wasn't selling lemonade.
People weren't putting dollars in.
Yeah,
believe me.
it was unusual for. I mean, there were some people. I mean, of course, everybody has their. Not everybody has the same resources.
Right.
So, hey, $1, that's great. Do what
Right.
you do what you can do, and if it's $1, then that's good. That's very much appreciated. And then there's other people who have more resources, but.
But if you couldn't contribute money too, we also had a scrapbook where you could sign and write a little
Okay.
message.
Aw.
And so I still have like stuff from people that would come leave, even just a message, a good word.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So probably there were a lot of memorable moments. So if we don't, obviously can't talk about all of them, but the one that got me, well, a couple that got me was, when you're doing that well and it's got that much momentum, it was a lot of time away from work. And, obviously she's getting out of school and, all that kind of stuff. So trying to figure out how to manage it and keep it going was tough. And so Sunday was the last day. And I was really struggling with that, because when you got that kind of momentum, you don't want to stop.
Yeah, it's hard to stop.
Yeah, it's hard to really stop. So a guy pulled up, he and his wife came up, and he said, man, I just want to tell you, this is amazing. I saw what was going on. And I said, where are you from? He said, Fayetteville. And I thought, Fayetteville? What, are you kidding me? And he goes, no. He said, I was cutting my grass, and
is unbelievable.
he was in the middle of, he has 5 or 6 acres, and he said, I was about halfway through, and he said, I just had to leave. He said, I knew it was the last day. So he said he went inside, left his lawnmower in the backyard, and got his wife, and they came to Rocky Mount.
unreal.
So while I'm talking to this guy, I was telling him that I was struggling with it being the last day.
Right.
And it just goes to show you that messages come when you need to hear them.
Right.
And so there was another guy that walked up right about the same time, and he said, I'll let you tell him about the sheet pan. But same guy, where this guy comes from is crazy. He was at the Raleigh-Durham Airport on a long layover. He was a teacher on a military base in Okinawa, Japan, and he came in, he was flying through Raleigh, and while he was in Okinawa, he had 2 students in Okinawa that were from Rocky Mount. So when he heard Rocky Mount, he said, I'm going to drive to Rocky Mount, and I'm going to make a donation on behalf of my 2 students that I knew when I was in Okinawa.
Good
So,
grief.
yeah, so he came all the way to do that.
Yeah.
Well, he was, keep in mind, side conversation. I'm talking to one guy, but I'm obviously paying attention. I got somebody talking to my daughter. You got to be situationally aware,
Yeah.
paying attention. You
That's
don't never know who's talking,
That's
who's
right.
there. And so I'm kind of not got my other ear. So my wife would say, you can't even listen to me with one ear. Hey, you certainly aren't listening with 2. But I was listening to make sure she's okay. And I heard him say, Taylor, this is just the beginning of something really big. The Pharaoh who laid the first block on the pyramids never lived long enough to see the last block laid. And I thought,
Wow.
Right now.
Is that not?
that's what I needed to hear,
Yeah.
because it wasn't the end. you know, and that's what he was saying. He was like, just because today's your last day
Right.
doesn't mean that it's the end. And I
It's the
thought,
end of it.
man, that's what I needed to hear, because that was an opportunity to be able to say, okay, it's not going to be over just because you close the
That's
lemonade stand today.
exactly right. Isn't that something?
And
But-
look at us now.
Yeah. Now, same guy, I know. I was like, oh, and here it is 20 years later.
Yep.
So you tell him what he said to you about
Oh yeah,
the.
same guy. He just said, "I'll just give you a little task. It'll be something fun. Go home, take a cup of your lemonade, and put it on a baking sheet, a flat baking sheet, and put it outside, and it'll evaporate. And when it rains next, a lot of people will get a little bit of your love from your lemonade."
Isn't that something?
That was just
And he
pretty
said
cool.
everybody will be able to enjoy. Oh, and the point was it was the last cup
Oh
because
yeah.
so everything had been packed up,
Yes.
so there were no more cups.
Oh my.
And
Lord.
so there was in the cooler, you know, with the ice cooler, there was a bunch of water in there, and there was a little bit of ice floating. So I had to pour that ice out of the cooler into that cup. So it was the last cup, and that was the ice cup we'd been scooping out of.
Unbelievable.
So we had no more cups. So that was one cup that was left in the ice cooler, just enough ice to fill the last cup. And he took a sip of that lemonade and said, "I'm going to give this back to you, and you can share this with everybody else." So it was the last
Wow.
cup, last bit of ice, last cup we sold that day. You know, it makes you wonder, where did this guy come
Where
from?
did
You
it
know,
come from?
Yeah.
Exactly.
a lot of good messages came from him.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow, that is really, those stories are just great stories. So we want you to come back
Okay.
and give a report on how much you raised and how it went, and some more stories.
Yeah.
We want you to give us some more stories. So we'll invite you back after it's over, and hopefully talk some more.
We will. I'm excited.